to my fellow free-blood sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning in to LLP Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy mangrove South Florida, and today's date is Sunday, April 25th, 2021. And I am at Downtown Saloon, located at 10 South New River Drive East, in the heart of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, along the New River. Behind the courthouse, county jail, southeast section of the Andrews Avenue Bridge. Yes, it is a Sunday night. Out all day. Went to this called Magapalooza rally or function. It was pretty cool. Or that Mikey's Tiki Bar, you know, and it was good folks, like-minded people, sharing information. Folks from different walks of life just came out of the woodworks. And it was hot but cloudy. Jenna Haig was getting dunked. Told you guys talk smack. To get them all wound up, you know. But it was nice. You know, so Florida's first .us, they're good people. I knew the president for like 12 years, a long time ago. And we shared good information with one another. He wants to have a more liberated Broward County and get Florida and just spread like fire around our great constitutional republic, which is being held hostage, under siege, you could say, or a coup, soft coup. And I'll be talking about something that pertaining to a coup, which came out yesterday. I got this alerts from the Publius Hold Us blog, which is wordpress.com. And great information, constitutional related material. I always recommend folks check it out. I will leave the link on my Spreaker page, so please go there. Enter your email address so you get some notifications, knowledgeable stuff. We're going to be talking about this. It's a reference to the Article 5 and they call it the Convention of States, which some people believe is a good idea. I'm like, no way in hell. I told folks, you need to focus. Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution is better. So everyone's trying to push for this. Article 5 is called the Death Blow Article 5 Convention to replace our Constitution. And this is what Publius Hodal has to say. Open your eyes and see what's going on in our country. If you don't face up to reality right now and act accordingly, we are doomed. The fight over whether to have an Article 5 convention isn't between Republicans and Democrats or liberals or conservatives. It is a spiritual warfare between those who want to keep our biblically based Constitution of 1787 and godless revolutionaries who want to get rid of our Constitution and set up the New World Order. Number one, our institution have long since been captured by the enemy. The transformation of our country into the New World Order has been going on for well over 100 years. A brief summary of the capture of our institution set off here, but there's links to this. But even worse than capture of our institutions was the ideological subversion of the American people. Former KGB officer Yuri Bezimov described that ideological subversion here. There's good links: mind control, Communist Manifesto, central banking, centralizing the United States, etc. So I'm just giving you a couple examples, but folks, check it out. Don't just take my word for it. And it says not all of our institutions have been captured, and great numbers of Americans have been ideologically subverted. The war is turning hot. The enemy now seeks to finish the job and destroying us and our country. Number two, our republic was overthrown in the last election. The essential characteristic of a republic is that power is exercised by representatives elected by the people. Due to last-minute unconstitutional changes to state election laws, which made massive election fraud possible, the last election was stolen, and we lost our right to choose our representatives. They are now chosen by those who control the voting machines. I can attest to that because the whole hanging Chad drama of 2000 between Bush and Gore, George W. Bush and Al Gore, which there was a lot of controversy with that. But their solution was electronic balloting, which I opposed over 20 years ago. So, on that time, in year 2000, December 2000, they're trying to bring that to light. And I'm like, you guys are effing insane. And look what happened. Always think long view, my friends, all right? 3, violent insurrections in the cities. The violent insurrections in the cities are carried on by the Marxist-trained communist agitators who mean to kill us and burn down our cities. They say so here and in many other videos which have been on the internet. And we've seen on the internet videos showing that the violent insurrections are supported by various members of Congress that pretended Vice President of the United States. Yeah, the bald wonder herself, Kamala Harris. Bald wonder. BAWD. Look it up, folks. Then you understand where I'm coming from. 4, replacing our Constitution at an Article 5 convention. So the time is right for the forces of the New World Order to move in for the final kill, to get rid of our Constitution. The Constitution is the only thing, and other than the emergency guide remaining, which stands between us and hell of the New World Order. If Congress calls convention under Article 5 U.S. Constitution, our present Constitution of 1787 can and almost certainly will be replaced with a new Constitution. There's links for that too, so please, folks, I would like to have some wacky-ass ideas. All right, Congress is the body which has constitutional authority to call, organize, and set up an Article 5 convention. Congress, the same Congress, is now controlled by those who egg on the insurrections which are destroying our cities and intimidating the inhabitants. And it is that Congress which has the power to determine how delegates to an Article 5 convention are selected, and even who they will be. The Constitution is explicit. Article 5 grants to Congress the power to call the convention. Article 1, Section 8 class clause grants to Congress the power to make the laws necessary and proper to carry out its powers to organize and set up the convention. Accordingly, the Special Research Service report of April 7th, 2014, link recognizes, quote, first, Article 5 delegates supported an exclusive authority over the amendment process to Congress. Second, Congress has traditionally laid claim to broad responsibilities in connection with the convention, including for determining the number and selection process for its delegates. So among its other powers, respecting the convention, Congress may appoint the delegate. They may appoint themselves, and those members of Congress who support the violent insurrections or getting money from the Chinese communists or other subversives may well be in the delegates. If state legislators give Congress the power to call an Article 5 convention, there is nothing any of us can do to stop it if Congress appoints subversives and revolutionaries as delegates. And while Congress has decided who the delegates will be and where the convention will meet, what will be going on outside the Capitol building. Busloads of armed and violent Antifa and BLM rioters were sent into Minneapolis to intimidate the jury in the Chauvin trial and commit murder, mayhem, and burn down the city. In the event, Chauvin were acquitted. There's links for this, folks. Will these thugs also descend on the District of Columbia when Congress is deciding who the delegates will be? And what about the convention itself? Will the delegates be intimidated by armed and violent Antifa and BLM thugs surrounding the place the convention meets? Will these thugs demand that the proposed Constitution for the new Social Republic of North America be imposed? Will they demand the Marxist Constitution George Soros wants? Will the Chinese Communist Party demand that the delegates impose the constitution they want? Or will the globalists demand that the delegates propose a new constitution which transform the formerly sovereign United States into a member state of the North American Union? Can we say Club of Rome, folks? Will the delegates be in such fear for their lives that, as the Chauvin jury, they surrender to the demands of the mob? And know this: any constitution has its own mode of ratification. The proposed constitution of the new states of America. And there's a link for that. Provides at Article 12, Section 1, that is ratified by the referendum called by the President. The states don't vote on it. They are dissolved and are replaced by regional governments answerable to the national government. Centralization 101. And to the ratification of the new Constitution by a national referendum we would see once again that Lenin was right when he said the people who vote don't determine the outcome of elections. The people who count the votes do. 5. And it's the Republican state legislators who are putting us in this fatal danger. The Article 5 convention is being marketed by demagogues and hirelings to those state legislators, primarily Republicans, as a conservative solution to our problems. They falsely assure state legislators that they will select delegates and have complete control over what they do. And since legislators of today often know little to nothing about our founding documents, history, or civics, have been ideologically subverted as well, they fall for the marketing. And like many others, they are shutting their eyes to the unpleasant reality described above. But that is the context in which an Article 5 convention would take place today. There are the ones who will turn over to Congress the power to get a new constitution, which will be the blow to this country. May God have mercy on their souls. They will have much to answer for. It is their adamant refusal to listen to the warnings against Article 5 convention, which has grave moral implications for them. And there's plenty of endnotes, and people can look at this themselves. The past is today's greatest teacher, my friends. And here's one thing I can tell you. When you hear folks talking about the convention of the states, you're telling me shut their trap. They don't even have any clue on what they're thinking. You better start doing your damn homework if you're going to fall for this rhetoric. I recommend everyone start reading the U.S. Constitution. Article 6 is the answer, not 5. Even the John Birch Society attests to that, and many other like-minded individuals. That is the final blow, folks. They want things centralized. Club of Rome 101, which started in 1968. Centralization is dangerous. Just read Annie Feller's papers, number 1. It looks like Florida had to support it, but I just let everyone know it's time to tell them to stick it. And that's what's very dangerous. And I did share this memo to the Floridians First gang and everyone else. We have to sound the alarm. Do you want one person to decide everything for us officially? Hell no. Not at all. It's interesting to hear about Alan Dershowitz speaks here how Congressman Maxine Waters called for riots if Chauvin were convicted, thereby terrorizing the jurors into finding Chauvin guilty. Where was the sheriff of that county? Is he a gutless coward? Probably so. Hell, I know people, if sheriffs will handcuff her and throw her ass in the cell. If she goes, I'm a congresswoman, so who cares? There's no entitlement. You're a criminal. End of story. One of the areas we'll always have to examine things thoroughly. I encourage everyone to look at all the links to this page. And there's a very good website. I encourage you, like I said before, follow the blog, email her, send it to everyone you know. Because if you don't, our children will suffer and beyond. They want us shackled. But there's no way in hell you're going to get every single one of us. Hope everyone listening to the show will agree with me. It's not just us, this is worldwide, folks. Even my brother or my fellow listeners in India will understand that. Around the world, a one world order is what they want. They'll lose. Long view. Some people say, "Oh, it won't happen." Like they're not gonna lose. You know what? Then you're not part of the. You're part of the problem, not the solution. Not part of the Gideon 300, right? I'm gonna do one more here, folks. This one came from winknews.com. The Associated Press. Broward County deputies told not to enforce anti-riot law. Deputies in South Florida County are being instructed not to enforce anti-riot law signed by Governor DeSantis last week unless it's absolutely necessary. When it deems necessary, the decision must run it up to the Broward County Sheriff's Office chain of command before taking action, according to the internal memo obtained by the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Colonel David Holmes, agency of the Executive Director of Law Enforcement, emailed district captains Wednesday to say that anti-riot law threatened to diminish the sheriff's office attempts to connect with the community. Sheriff's office doesn't need any overzealous deputies utilizing the new law to conduct enforcement that could violate people's civil liberties, Holmes said in an email. So-called anti-riot law that the Senate signed last week was a response to a nationwide demonstration that occurred in the wake of George Floyd's murder. Most protests against racial injustice were peaceful, but some turned violent. Simple. You punish the criminals, not the protesters. Okay, what's so hard about that? Good grief. A nonprofit group last week filed a lawsuit in federal court in Orlando challenging the new law. What, you can't do it in the state level? You gotta use your incorporation doctrine? Good grief. It's always go to the feds. How about do it under the state level? The state. Because in my last show, I did talk about there may be a couple of discrepancies which can be possibly be challenged. Article 1 Section 17. Bails, excessive bails, cruel and unusual punishment. That's possible. You don't have to go to federal court. Do it on the state level, for goodness sakes. Then, in due time, go up, do your protocol. You don't want to bypass everything. Good grief. So it says here, opponents of the law said it was a racist reaction to a problem that hasn't occurred in Florida. They saw it as an attempt to squash the voices of groups like Black Lives Matter. The new law enhances penalties for crimes committed during a riot or violent protest. See, violent protest is irrelevant. That is invalid. A riot, inciting a crime. Okay, so get your facts straight, folks. That's the Associated Press. Yeah? It allows authorities to hold arrested protesters until a first court appearance and establish new felonies for organizing or participating in a violent demonstration. So, it establishes new felonies for organizing or participating in a violent demonstration. That means they're committing a crime. So you're going to say you're going to protect them? It also strips local governments of civil liability protections. They interfere with law enforcement's effort to respond to a violent protest. And as language of new state law could force local governments to justify a reduction in a law enforcement budget. So it may conflict with local government. It also makes it a second-degree felony to destroy or demolish a memorial, plaque, flag, painting, structure, or other objects that commemorates a historical people or events. That would be punishable by up to 10 years in prison. So they want to challenge that. What? So you say vandalizing is okay? If they take down statues, should they pay? Due process? Yeah, I support that. Well, if they know about sculptures, let them learn to fix these things. So it's like I said, sometimes you got a lot of drama queens on it. A lot of drama queen rhetoric. I've read it. There's some things, like I said, one of the areas I've talked about was Article 1, Section 17 of the Florida Constitution. So, and here's the thing, too, with Black Lives Matter. Most of them are white kids anyway. Hired fools, right? Of course, the ones that are coming in are coming in from the buzzsaws, probably from out of town. To stir stuff up, they're hired guns. Like I said, you punish the criminals, not the protesters. And I don't know why Sheriff Tony was absolutely, unless it's absolutely necessary. How you constitute that? Absolutely necessary. You got to question all these things. What he's saying too. Yes, like I told people, I do support the anti-riot law. Anti-riot law. You don't go around violating people's spaces, intimidate them, threaten them by any means. You know, you can criticize, that's fine. But if you're going to use all these names and going after even the elderly, that has happened before in a lot of places, Florida's putting his foot down. We're not going to be like Portland, you see, or Oregon, other places. The other thing, too, the law enforcement community has been sticking together on this regardless. And I know the whole sovereign immunity tort liability that was added with 768.28. So the municipalities can be liable on certain conditions for rioting. So so I get a little bit turned off on that. So what constitutes that, Sheriff Tony? That's what I like to tell everyone in Broward County about it. So, hey, but one thing for sure, if folks, I recommend folks in Florida learn Florida Statute Chapter 876. Even people who have these communist ideologies try to shove stuff down their throats. That's illegal in Florida. Now think about that. All right, well, that will be it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us throughout your social media network. If you have any questions, comments, or something you want to check out, whatever you do, please send your correspondence to the quorum. Furthermore, I'll leave the footnotes of these articles on my speaker page. And if you want to email me, you can go to LokiLuckNumbers03@protonmail.com. Or if you want to do a donation, you can hit me at, sorry about that, paypal.me or cash.app/LokiLuckNumber3. And if you want to donate to Publius Abdal blog, that'd be awesome as well. All right. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves, keep on spreading love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.